The BTS fandom is always full of mysteries, hidden signs, and moments that make ARMY hearts race. However, among all the relationships, there is one story that never fades despite the passage of time. The story of Taehyung and Jungkook, or more commonly known as Taekook. The big question that always haunts fans' minds is, when did the love actually begin? When did Jungkook start seeing Taehyung not just as a friend, but as someone who fills his heart? And the answer lies among the fragments of small moments that may have seemed insignificant at the time, but when pieced together, form a love story that is so beautiful, sincere, and almost impossible to hide. When Jungkook was still a nervous young trainee, Taehyung entered his life in an unexpected way. Taehyung, with his warm, cheerful, and energetic personality, became a ray of light illuminating Jungkook's stressful days. Many ARMYs believe that it was during these moments that the seeds of Jungkook's first love began to grow. Not in a grand or dramatic way, but in a simple form, a sense of comfort. Taehyung was the only person who could make Jungkook feel safe, laugh freely, and be himself without any burdens. There are so many old recordings now considered Taekook treasures. In BTS's early debut videos, we can see how Jungkook's gaze toward Taehyung differs from his gaze toward other members. Not just an ordinary look, but one filled with admiration, affection, and a hint of fear of losing him. ARMY often says, "Eyes don't lie." And indeed, in that gaze, Jungkook seems to want to say something he can't put into words. Over time, Jungkook and Taehyung grew closer. They weren't just roommates or fellow strugglers, but people who unconsciously sought each other out. When Jungkook was exhausted after a long practice, Taehyung quietly watched over him. When Taehyung looked downcast, Jungkook always knew how to make him smile again. Even in the midst of a crowd, they had a body language that only the two of them could understand. Many fans believe that Jungkook's love for Taehyung truly began to show clearly when they were often caught on camera protecting each other, holding hands, or simply sitting comfortably close together. Some unforgettable moments for ARMY and Taekook's journey include Golden Closet Film, GCF Tokyo. This video created by Jungkook is not just a vlog, but a heartfelt work of art. The choice of music, the editing of scenes, and the way Jungkook's camera captures Taehyung's face. Everything feels too intimate, too full of love to be considered a coincidence. BTS concerts. There are moments when Jungkook can't hide his proud expression while watching Taehyung sing. That gaze is so intense, as if the world has stopped spinning and there's only Taehyung on stage. Weverse lives and behind the scenes. Many times, the two of them accidentally show how close their relationship is. From shy smiles, small gestures like touching each other's arms, to searching for each other in the crowd. This question may never be answered with a specific date or moment. However, if we piece together the entire puzzle, many ARMYs believe that Jungkook fell in love with Taehyung during their trainee days, and those feelings grew deeper as they began their journey as BTS. There is a popular theory among fans that the exact moment Jungkook realized his feelings was when he saw Taehyung sing on stage for the first time. At that moment, he didn't just see a fellow member, but someone who made his heart race in a different way. For Jungkook, who was still a teenager at the time, the world felt foreign, full of pressure, and full of demands. However, when he saw Taehyung standing on stage with such natural charisma, he felt something he had never understood before, a pull, a sense of admiration that slowly turned into a much deeper feeling. From that moment on, Taehyung was no longer just a friend, but someone who made him want to persevere and grow. Many ARMYs also believe that simple moments of togetherness, such as sharing late-night laughter in the dorm or simply gazing at the stars on the dorm roof, were the starting point for Jungkook to realize how valuable Taehyung was. In that silence, he knew he had found his home, not in a place, but in a person. Taehyung was the comfort he sought amidst the glittering world that sometimes felt too noisy. And over time, that feeling grew stronger. Not because of big things, but because of the small, repeated details. Taehyung's smile when Jungkook joked around, the brief handhold backstage, or simply how Taehyung always knew what he needed without having to say a single word. From there, Jungkook's love grew, took root, and eventually became an inseparable part of him. The most fascinating thing about Taekook is how they communicate through body language. Jungkook often unconsciously leans toward Taehyung. Taehyung often touches Jungkook in a way that seems natural, as if it's second nature. Their smiles when they exchange glances, too sweet to ignore. This is why many people believe their love isn't just fan theory, but something real. Because Taekook is a symbol of genuine love. Not love flaunted in public, but love that grows from companionship, understanding, and a long journey. Jungkook may never have directly said, "I'm in love with Taehyung." But every glance, every movement, every piece of work he creates seems to shout loudly that only Taehyung holds a special place in his heart. In the end, Jungkook's love story for Taehyung is not something that can be erased by time. It's not just a rumor, but a series of real moments that have become part of BTS's history. Love may be simple, or it may be complicated, but one thing is certain. The world sees how Jungkook fell in love with Taehyung, and how Taehyung responded in a way that only their hearts can understand. And for ARMY, this story is not just entertainment, but something that makes us believe that true love can grow in the most unexpected places. So, when did this love begin? The answer is, from the very beginning, from the first glance, from the small moments that only the two of them know. And from there, the world came to know Taekook, a love story that will always live in the hearts of ARMY.